Welcome to Middle Math Academy, Multiplying Decimals, level number 3. This is part of our differentiated series where we have 5 levels of challenge for every topic. Let's get started. Our learning targets today are I can find the product by using an area model and partial products. We're going to work on that on pages 1 through 3 today. And then our second learning target is I can use the standard algorithm to find the product. We're going to work on that in pages 4 through 6. Before we get started, go ahead and rate yourself before the lesson 1 through 5. 1 is the least confident in our learning targets, 5 is the most confident. After we're finished practicing today, you'll come back to this page and rate yourself again to see your growth. I have 3 warm-up problems under our learning targets that we're going to start with. I'm going to zoom in on the first one. It says, use the fact that 1,017 times 333 equals 338,661 and write the exact product of 10 and 1700ths times 33.3. Now, the first thing to notice is that the numbers in each of these problems are the same. Okay, so we have 1017 and 10.17. So there's no actual math that we need to do. What we're working on in this problem is place value. So if we have all the same numbers, but our place value has changed with some decimals, what we can do is we're going to take the answer they gave us. Let's just write out our digits nice and neat. 338,661, don't include the comma. And then to figure out what the product is whenever the place value changes with decimals, we're going to count how many numbers are to the right of the decimal. So if you are right-handed, it's in that direction. So we have 1, 2. 2 numbers are to the right of the decimal in this number. We also have to include the number here. So it's how many total. So we have 3 numbers total to the right of the decimal. So we're going to go to the end of our answer, and we're going to insert the decimal 3 places back. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3. Our answer here is 338.661 or 661 thousandths. Make sure you have this down. Once you have this down, go ahead and do the next one, then come back to the video to check your work. In this next example, you should have 10.8676 as your answer, because there were 4 total numbers to the right of the decimal, so we moved our decimal back 4 places. Complete the last warm-up problem on your own, then come back to the video when you're ready for notes. Let's get started with some notes. The problem we're working with in our notes is 2 3/10 times 5 6/10. Our first step is we are going to estimate by rounding our decimals. So we can round 2.3 to 2 and 5.6 to 6. And our estimated answer is 12. This is a really helpful strategy to let us know once we're finished solving if we're on the right track. If we got an answer like 120, that would be a signal that we need to go back and check our work because our estimated answer 12 is way off from 120. All right, now let's dig into our area model. The first step in drawing an area model is drawing a rectangle like you see on your notes. We're going to split one side to match the place values of the first decimal. Okay, so you can see 2.3 up here, our first decimal. And then on the other side, we'll write our second decimal, 5.6. Now, we are going to split up each of our decimals into partial numbers. Okay, so 2.3, we can split up into 2 and 0.3. And 5.6, we can split up into 5 and 0.6 or 6/10. Step number 3, we're going to write inside each of these 4 squares the product of the number directly above and to the side of the rectangle. So I'm going to zoom in on our area model real quick. Okay, so we're going to multiply 2 times 5, which is 10. Then we'll do the same thing to our next square. Directly above our next square is 3/10. And to the side is 5. 3/10 times 5 is 1.5. 2 times 0.6 is 1.2, and so on. And then last but not least, step number 4, we're going to add all the partial products. I'll zoom up a little bit. So all of the answers we got in each box, we're going to add together. Remember, when you add, your decimals have to be directly one on top of the other, super lined up. And then our answer for this problem is 13 and 8800ths, which is really close to our original estimate, 12. Now let's practice with some examples. Remember, you can always pause the video if you need more time, and you can always refer back to these notes in this example if you need to. Let's zoom in on problem A, 2 and 5/10 times 4 and 3/10. We're going to draw an area model and use partial products to solve. Our first step is to estimate. So we can round 2 and 5/10 to 3 and 4.3 to 4. And 3 times 4 is 12. So that's our estimated answer. You can just put that to the side. Our next step is we're going to draw a rectangle. And our first number is 2 and 5/10. So we can split that up into 2 and 5/10. Make sure there's like a separation between them. Our second number is 4 and 3/10. So I can split it up into 4 and 3/10. Now we can go ahead and split up our rectangle. Since it was 2 digits by 2 digits, we should have a total of 4 squares. Our next step is we're going to multiply our number on top and to the side. So 2 times 4 is 8. Make sure you're writing with me. Then we'll go to our next box, 5/10 times 4. Well, remember, like we practiced in the warm-up, we can just do 5 times 4 to make it an easier problem. 5 times 4 is 20, and there's one number after the decimal. So we can move our decimal back one space and get 2. All right, try filling in these last 2 boxes on your own, then come back to the video to check your work. For this bottom left box, 2 times 3 is 6, and there's one number to the right of the decimal, so we can write it as 0.6. And then 0.5 times 0.3. Well, 5 times 3 is 15. We have one number after the decimal in 0.5 and one number after the decimal in 0.3. So we need to move it back 2 spots, and we get 0.15 or 0.15. Our last step is we're going to add each of these together. Make sure when you're adding that your decimals are completely lined up, one on top of the other. Okay, we added in some 0 placeholders so that everything could stay lined up. And then we get our final answer of 10 and 75/100. Our estimated answer was 12, and 10.75 is close to that. So we are on the right track. Go ahead and try B on your own, then come back to the video to check your work. All right, for problem B, we didn't need to split up 4 at all. Okay, so we can just leave that as 4. It's okay if you had it on the top of your rectangle too. It doesn't really matter. And then we have 1 and 7/10 split up. So let's keep checking. You should have had 4 and 2.8 inside your squares. When you estimated at the beginning, you could have rounded 4 times 2 and gotten 8. Don't forget to estimate. And then our last step is we're going to add our products that are inside the rectangle together. So we'll add 4 and 2.8. And we get 6.80. $6.80. That is close to $8, so we are on the right track. Make sure your decimals when you're adding them are super lined up. Come back to the video when you're ready for page 2. Complete A, B, C, and D on your own. Pause the video, then come back to check your work. Check your work for A. Check your work for B. Check your work for C. And check your work for D. Complete the rest of page 2, then check in with your teacher to get additional feedback. Come back to the video when you're ready for page 3. Complete A, B, C, and D. Come back to the video to check your work. Check your work for problem A. Check your work for problem B. Check your work for problem C. And check your work for problem D. Complete the rest of page 3, then check in with your teacher to get additional feedback. Come back to the video when you're ready for page 4. Let's take a quick look back at our learning targets. On pages 1 through 3, we worked on our first learning target using the area model and partial products. Now we're going to move on to our next 3 pages and practice the standard algorithm. So let's look at page 4. Before we dive into some notes on the standard algorithm, complete A and B, then come back to the video. All right, let's go ahead and take some notes, and then we'll practice using the standard algorithm. The first step in using the standard algorithm is we're going to ignore the decimals. So we're just going to treat them like whole numbers and pretend they're not there. Step 2, we're going to line up our numbers, and it's helpful to put our number with that has more digits on top. Step 3, multiply the bottom right digit by each top digit. and we'll write the answers underneath. And it's okay if this isn't totally clicking yet. We want to have these notes so we can refer back to them when we're practicing. Step 4, add a 0 placeholder below the previous answer and shift to the next digit. Then you're just going to repeat those steps again. Once you've multiplied all of the bottom digits by the top digits, you'll add all the answers you wrote, and then we'll count the total decimal places in the original problem, and we'll reinsert the decimals that many places from the right of our final answer. So once again, it's okay if this isn't totally clicking yet, but it's important we have this to refer back to. Let's take a look at problem C. Our first step is we're going to rewrite this problem without decimals. So we'll write it as 26 times 35. Whatever has more digits, you'll put on top, but both of these have 2. So I'll just go ahead and write 26 and try to put a pinky's worth of distance between each number to stay nice and lined up, times 35. Step 1. Next step is we're going to multiply our bottom right digit times each number on top. So I'm going to start with 5 times 6. 5 times 6 is 30. I'll put my 0 here and I'll carry the 3. Okay, so I did this number. Now I'll do 5 times 2, which is 10, plus 3 is 13. Now we're going to do the same thing with this 3. The first number we write will go right here. So what we're going to do is put a 0 placeholder, and then we'll multiply the 3 times 6 and 3 times 2. There's our 0 placeholder. 3 times 6 is 18. So I'm going to put the 8 here and carry the 1. And now I'll do 3 times 2, which is 6, plus 1 is 7. Now I multiplied my 5 times each number on top and my 3 times each number on top. Now we're going to add 0 plus 0 is 0, 3 plus 8 is 11, carry the 1, and 1 plus 1 plus 7 is 9. So we're almost done. Our answer is not 910. The very last step is you go back to the original problem and you count how many total numbers are after the decimal. 26 doesn't have any decimals, so we're good there. We have one number after the decimal here. So we're going to make sure our answer has one number after the decimal as well. And our answer is 91. Try problem D on your own, then come back to the video to check your work. Our first step is we're going to remove the decimals. So 1.4 times 0.3 becomes 14 times 3. 14 has more digits. It has 2 digits, so I'm going to put that number on top. Then I'm going to multiply 3 times 4, and then 3 times 1. So 3 times 4 is 12. Put the 2 there, carry the 1. And then 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4. Now we're almost done. We have to go back to our original problem and count how many numbers are after the decimal. There's 2, so we want to make sure our answer has 2 numbers after the decimal as well. 1, 2. Our answer is 42 hundredths. Go ahead and try problem E, then come back to the video to check your work. For problem E, step 1 is to remove the decimals. Step 2, put the number with more digits on top. Step 3, we're going to multiply our bottom right digit times each number on top. So here's what you should have gotten for your first row. 3 times 5 is 15. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7, and 3 times 1 is 3. Okay, so we solve for the 3. The next step is to focus on the 1, and you'll multiply 1 times 5, 1 times 2, and 1 times 1. And so for your next row, you should have gotten 1,250. And then our very last step is to just add the numbers together, and then reinsert our decimal. So we have 2 numbers after the decimal, so we want to make sure our answer also has 2 numbers after the decimal. Complete the rest of page 4, then check in with your teacher to get additional feedback. Come back to the video when you're ready for page 5. Complete only A and B on page 5, then come back to the video to check your work. For problem A, you should have rewritten your problem as 225 times 34. Here's what you should have as your first row when you multiplied 4 times everything on top. Here's what you should have for your second row when you multiplied 3 times every number on top. And then the next step you should have done is add your numbers and reinsert your decimal. Make sure you have this down. Let's check problem B. Check your work for problem B. Complete the rest of page 5, then check in with your teacher to get additional feedback. Complete all of page 6, then come back to the video to check your work. Check your work for a common misconception problem. Pause the video if you need more time. Check your work for a closing problem. And last but not least, don't forget to answer our debrief problems. In your own words, what did you learn today? How much effort did you put in during class? Rate yourself 1 through 5. And what do you think is a common misconception or a common mistake students might make when multiplying decimals? Once you've fully completed all of page 6, we're going to go back to page number 1, and you're going to rate yourself after the lesson on our learning targets now that you've gotten some more practice. Once you finish page 6, rated yourself on our learning targets on page 1, check in with your teacher to get additional feedback. Thank you for joining us today at Middle Math Academy, where we practiced multiplying decimals level number 3. This is part of our differentiated series where we have 5 levels of challenge for every topic. If you're looking for any additional practice, make sure to check out levels 1 and 2 or levels 4 and 5. Thank you for joining us and have a wonderful day.